And today I have a Scrappy tag video for you. So this is the first video in a new series that I'm starting because of my one little word, which is engage. I know a lot of scrappers do chit chat videos and face-to-face videos, and I haven't really done those yet, but I thought that they would be a really good way to engage and connect with the community. So I'm gonna start with a tag video for this month, but if you have any questions or anything that you would like to see me discuss, any ideas that you might have, leave them all for me down below, because I'm going to try to do one once a month and really work on engaging and connecting with the community. So Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life did a Scrappy tag a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it would be really fun to go ahead and do that tag. So I'm tagging all of you guys. If you're watching this, then you are tagged. If you don't do videos, leave your answers in the comments. I will leave her original link and all of the questions in the description box so that you have all of them. So yeah, leave them in the comments. Do an Instagram post, do a Facebook post, however you want to do it. Go ahead and participate. I think it's a lot of fun to see how everyone's been answering this. So question number 1 is, what brought you to scrapbooking? So I think scrapbooking was just a sort of natural next step for me. I've always been really crafty. My mom's really crafty. My mom loves to like document and journal things, and she has pages and pages of notes from all of her brownie meetings and brownie events and stuff like that. She's been a guider for like 35 years, I think, almost. So yeah, I think she really fostered that in me, and we've always been crafty, so it was kind of just a next step, natural next step to put the two together. And when I got a scrapbooking kit at a baby shower when I was pregnant for my daughter, there it was. There were no excuses not to do it. So that's really where it started for me. Question number 2. Besides immediate family, what do you like to scrapbook about most? So I love to scrapbook about our travels and just all the things that we see along the way. We do road trips most often, so there's always lots of good opportunity to take pictures. We see lots of animals and the mountains and just the different landscapes. I love to take pictures of food and tea and coffee, events that happen around town. I love to take pictures of like Christmas lights and that kind of stuff. So pretty much anything that I feel compelled to take a picture of, no matter how I don't know, boring or mundane it might be, or you know, if it's really exciting, doesn't really matter to me. If I've taken a picture of it, I will probably print it off and scrap it at some point. So yeah, I think there's lots of random non-family pictures in all of my albums. Question number 3. Are you a buy it all or a use your stash type scrapbooker? So I'm definitely a use your stash type scrapbooker. I think that because when I started scrapbooking, I was brand new mom. I had just graduated from university. My husband was still in school. You know, we didn't really have a lot of extra money for hobbies, and so I had to make do with what I could find. So I repurposed a lot of things. I used packaging from anything, any packages that came into my house, whether they were, you know, food labels or junk mail or whatever it was, they were fair game in my scrapbooking. I used a lot of other people's leftovers. I found when I was going to, a friend of mine had a very good friend who sold Creative Memories, and so we would go to her day-long crops, and I found a lot of the people that were there were throwing out a lot of stuff, a lot of scraps, and I used those scraps and I found ways to make them work. So I really tried very hard to build a stash very intentionally. I saved my money. If there was a tool that I wanted, I had to save up for it. And so I definitely developed an appreciation for using the things that I have. And I think that that's just kind of carried through. So I do love looking at all the new stuff, and of course I drool over a lot of it. And I have to say, sometimes I'm pretty envious when I see other scrappers do different hauls and show all the new goodies that they get all the time. But I'm pretty secure with not needing to go out and buy everything as it comes. Plus, this is my whole scrap area, so I don't have any storage, as you can see. Everything I bring into the house has to get used because it can only go here. I don't have anywhere else for it to go. So that makes a bit of a difference. If I had a bigger scrap room, I would probably fill it up a little bit more and maybe buy more things. So until that happens, I'll just stick to using my stash. 4. What do you need to be in your perfect scrappy mood? So for me, it's about comfort. I need comfy pants, comfy shirt, some background noise of some kind, so whether that's the TV or music or just like my family being around. Usually I have coffee or a tea or just even some water, and I need to have all my stuff available to me. So you can see here, this is it for space for me. I don't have anywhere else. I don't have a room. I'm like tucked into the corner in our living room. I have a rascog right here that you can't see, and then I just have this little bit of space. So a lot of my stuff is tucked into iris containers and kind of stashed and hidden all over the place, and I need to pull it out. In order to really be motivated to scrapbook, I need to see what I have. So oftentimes before I know I'm gonna sit down and scrapbook, I've been, you know, going through some of my iris containers, kind of pulling things out and just putting them strategically on the desk to kind of remind me that I want to use this. And then the other thing I loved that kind of puts me in the mood is going to crops. And I wouldn't say that I'm super productive when I go to crops, but I get really inspired and motivated when I go to crops. And so I usually bring a little notepad with me and I take notes of what everyone else is doing. So, you know, if someone uses a really cool color combination or a technique or something that I want to try, I usually write it down. And sometimes I do it there, but oftentimes I'm more chatty. I love to talk to people and connect with people. And then I keep all my notes and I come home and I create. So I think, yeah, I think those are my two scrappy mood enhancers. 5. Are you more of a literal scrapper, or can a random embellishment be on your page just because it's cute? I'm mostly a literal scrapbooker. If I'm doing a page about summer, I like to have summery things, flowers, sunshine, that kind of stuff. I mean, I can stretch it within those limitations. So if I'm doing something about summer, and even if we're, you know, inside somewhere, I could still put maybe sunglasses or something like that, because to me, summer and sunglasses kind of go together. It has to make sense in my head. So other people might not always see the connections, but for me, there is always some sort of connection. And if there is a really, really cute embellishment that I want to use and I don't have a way of making it work for something, I'll just go and find a picture. Like, I'll take the picture, I'll set up the scenario, I'll make that leap so that I can have a layout to use that embellishment on. So you might, when you're going through my albums, see a lot of things that look random, but to me, there's some sort of connection, they've made sense, or I've set up that picture specifically to use that embellishment. So it's literal to me, even if it doesn't appear to be for everyone else. Number 6, how many pages do you try to scrap in a certain amount of time? Example, in a month. I don't put a number on myself. I feel like that's a lot of pressure for me personally. I would feel like if I had a number, I would want to hit it every month, and if I didn't hit it, I would start to feel bad about myself. And I know that sounds bad to say. It's just my own, like, who I am personally, that I would put a lot of pressure on myself to do that. So I'd much rather just do as much as I can and focus more on the quality of my work than the quantity of the work. And sometimes I'm really productive and I get on a roll, and I do give myself certain challenges. Like for the month of January, Can you see them? Yeah, I still have all my traveler's notebooks here. And so I've given myself the challenge of completing them, but I didn't make it a quantitative thing. So it's not, I didn't count how many layouts I have left to do. It was just sort of, let's work on this. Let's make this a priority. And so for me, that works a lot better because at the end of the month, I think I got up to May all the way done, and I'm totally okay with that. In 1 month, I completed 5 months worth of scrapping. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't want the pressure. I don't want it to ever feel like this is work. I want to just enjoy the process of scrapping. 7. What is your favorite collection of 2018? I think, I don't always know new collections when they come out. Like I haven't watched any videos from Creativation. I'm not really interested in brand new stuff as it comes out. I don't really have that need to go and get everything. I think I could be like that, but I've kind of turned that part of me off because it is hard in Canada to get all of the stuff when it's right brand new, unless we're ordering from the States, and then shipping costs are massive and the exchange rate is really high, and so it's just not something that is feasible for me. So I'm often waiting to get these collections when they do come into stores here. A lot of times not the entire collection has come in, so you know, you might be getting a few of the papers and a couple of the embellishments, and you kind of have to put things together. So I've just gotten used to that, and so I'm really happy just getting any paper. If it's new to me, then it's new. It doesn't need to be from a specific year. But I do know that the Cocoa Vanilla collections that I have, so like Midnight, for example, those are all from 2018. And I love them. They're so gorgeous. I think they're probably my favorite, and I've been hoarding all of the pieces I have. That's actually in my February kit for How to Kill a Kit with Style. And part of me is really excited to use them, and part of me is really sad to use them because I've been hoarding them. So I think those are probably my favorite. I also have loved a couple of the Wild Whisper collections this year. I mean, I love all of their collections, but a couple of them are definitely at the top of my list. So More Adventures, I just loved all of the colors in that. It was really bright and clean and gorgeous colors. And I also loved Wild Whimsy. I had a lot of fun using that one, and I love the themes and the mermaid tails and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I really like that collection too. Almost there. Okay, number 8. What is one scrappy technique that you have never or rarely tried that you wish you were good at? So for me, I'm gonna go with hand stitching. I know a lot of ladies have said hand stitching, but I honestly, I do it. I just forget sometimes. You know, you kind of get into that mode and you start putting your layout together and kind of, you know, fixing all the pieces and making your design work, and you have your embellishments, and then I start to glue things down, and then at the last minute I'm like, oh, I should have sewn on that. I always forget to do it. So it's not so much that I'm not good at it. I mean, I'm not great at it. I definitely would like to practice and do it a little bit more, but I just forget. I forget to do it. And I have a sewing machine too, and I think I broke it. I don't know how to use it very well, and so I would love to get that pulled out, working properly, and get it, you know, using it on more of my layouts. Number 9. What color combo do you think we should see more of? So this isn't a color combo, it's just one color, but it's my favorite color. And I wish we saw more of it, and that is green. And I know that there are some of you at home rolling your eyes going, oh, I hate green. I've never, in my entire life, I have never met people who really hated a color until I started watching more YouTube and participating more in scrapbooking communities. And I feel like green can be a bit of a controversial color. There are a lot of people with a passionate hate for green, but I love it. It's my favorite. And that shade of green when you've just had a thunderstorm, like one of those pitch black thunderstorms when the clouds roll in, And then suddenly the rain has died down to almost nothing and the clouds are kind of pushing away, so it's still dark, but the sun is coming out and there's like little rays of sunlight just touching the grass. That shade of green is my favorite shade of green, and I think we need more of that in scrapbooking. So listen up, American Crafts, and all of you designers, that's the shade of green we need. Okay. 10. Are you worried our hobby is fading out? Any ideas to help keep it from being so? I actually think I could probably do an entire 20-minute video just on this topic. So if this is something that you guys want to discuss more, let me know down below, because I'd be happy to share my thoughts on this and expand a little bit. But for the sake of this tag, I just wanted to say that I don't think that our hobby is fading out. I think that every once in a while we see these natural transitions in any hobby. It's not just ours, but in any hobby, as new generations come in, they change it and adapt it and they make it their own. And so sometimes that might feel like we're losing the hobby, but it's just that it doesn't look the same way that it does for us. And so, and I really think that it's always been that way from the beginning of time. Putting stories together with pictures, being creative, documenting our lives, that's something that we have always done. Right from the beginning of time, there's just this natural need that we have, this instinct that we have to document and to tell our stories and leave something for each generation. And so I don't think that that's going away, but it has to change to be relevant to every new generation that comes in. And so what we're doing naturally isn't relevant to what my 14-year-old will be doing, because her world is not my world. When she's my age, things are going to look really, really different. And I think that, you know, scrapbooking is still going to be there. It will still be a hobby, but it will just look really different to match that time. And we've seen it ourselves. So I've seen it just from when I started 14 years ago, and you know, kind of only having that sort of creative memory style of scrapbooking where there was a formula that you followed and there was a, you know, a set way that you did things, until now, 14 years later, where it's very much about being free and just enjoying the process and doing what feels right to you, and very much saying there are no rules. If you want to put that sticker there, you put that sticker there. If you want to throw paint on this, you throw paint on this. So, you know, we've changed our hobby too. And there might be people in some of those older generations who look at what we do and go, oh, that's not really scrapbooking. So I think that's all that's happening. I think that's what we're seeing, is that it's just adapting, and that's a natural process. And I kind of encourage it. I enjoy that. I think that, you know, you have to tell stories in the way that they are relevant to you. And so I think that that's a good thing. But like I said, I could talk a whole lot more on this topic, so I'm gonna leave it at that. If you have any questions, leave them for me in the comments down below, and be sure to do this tag. I'm tagging all of you. I would love to see what all of your answers are. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and until next month, happy scrapping. Bye.